Welcome students, myself Umesh Kumar Sharma from Maria College of Engineering and IT. Today we are going to discuss the topic structure of SiO2, oxidation techniques and system oxide properties. The structure of SiO2. The form of SiO2 that is important for microelectronic fabrication is called fused silica. It is amorphous and is thermodynamically unstable below 1710 degrees centigrade in the temperature range of interest. The rate of crystallization for most microelectronic processing is so slow that it can be neglected. The structure of SiO2 is shown in figure. The structure can be through of as four oxygen atoms sitting at the corners of a triangular polyhedron. In the center of polyhedrons is a single silicon atom. Thus, each of four oxygen atom is covalently bonded to the silicon atom, satisfying the silicon valence shell if each oxygen atom is a part of two polyhedra. The valence of the oxygen would also be satisfied and a regular crystal structure called quartz would be the result. In fused silica, there are two kinds of oxygen atom. First is bridging oxygen atoms, which are bonded to two silicon atoms. Second is neighboring oxygen atoms, which are bonded to only one silica atoms. The larger the fraction of bridging to non-bridging atoms, the most cohesive and less prone to damage. The oxide is dry oxide have a much larger ratio of bridging to non-bridging atoms compared to wet oxide. A variety of impurities can also exist in thermal oxides. Some of the most common are water-related complexes. If H2O is present during the growth, one reaction that can occur is the reduction of bridging oxygen site into two hydroxyls. SiOSi is equal to SiOH plus HOSi. These hydrogen atoms are only weakly bonded and can be removed under electric stress or ionizing radiation, leaving a trap or potential charge state in the oxide. This is shown in figure. Other impurities are intentionally incorporated into thermal deposited SiO2 to change its physical properties. Substitutional impurities that replace the silicon atoms are called network formers. The most common network formers are boron and phosphorus. These impurities tend to reduce the bridging to non-bridging ratio, which allow glass to flow at lower temperature. Oxidation technique and system. The oxidation techniques chosen depends upon the thickness and oxide properties. Generally, there are dry oxidation, wet oxidation, high pressure oxidation, and plasma oxidation are main oxidation technique. Oxides that are relatively thin and required low charge at the interface are ground by dry oxidation. Where thick oxide are desired, steam is used. When sodium ion contamination is of concern, SclO2 is the preferred technique. Before oxidation of silicon, pre-oxidation cleaning is necessary. Pre-oxidation cleaning. Before being placed in high temperature furnace, buffer must be cleaned to eliminate both organic and non-organic contaminants. If these contaminants are not removed, they can degrade the electrical characteristics of the device and can contribute to reliability problem. Particulate matter is removed by either mechanical or ultrasonic scrubbing immersion processing system. A common cleaning procedure uses H2O, H2O2, NH4OH mixer to remove organic contaminants. To remove heavy metal, H2O, H2O2, HCl solution is called commonly used. This process is performed between 75 to 85 degrees centigrade for 10 to 20 minutes, followed by quench, rinse and spin dry. The different kind of oxidation. Uh, the different kind of oxidation methods are: first is dry oxidation. SCL dry oxidation is straightforward using microprocessor control equipment. The desired insertion and withdrawal rates, ramp rate, gas flow, and temperature all are programmable. Care must be taken in handling SCL because SCL uh, corrodes the metal parts. Second is weight oxidation. Weight oxidation can be carried out by pyrogenic techniques, which react H2 and O2 to form water vapor. The microprocessor controls the H2O2 mixture. The pyrogenic technique assure high purity steam provided that high purity gases are used. If weight oxidation by the bubbler technique is used, a carrier gas is typically followed through a water bubbler maintained at 95 degrees centigrade. Third is high pressure oxidation. The parabolic rate constant P is directly proportional to C star. The equilibrium bulk concentration in the oxide, which is proportional to the partial pressure of the oxidizing species in the gas phase. Oxidation in high pressure steam produces substantial acceleration in growth rate. Fourth is plasma oxidation. The plasma oxidation process involves possibility of growing high quality oxide at temperature even lower than those achieved with high pressure techniques. Anode plasma oxidation can grow reasonably thick oxide of the order of 1 micrometer at low temperature less than 600 degrees centigrade at growth rate up to 1 micrometer per hour. Oxide properties. The various properties of oxide are: first is the refractive index of dry oxide decrease with increasing temperature. Second is the etch rate of thermal oxide varies with oxide density and with oxidation temperature. Third is high pressure oxide grown at 725 degrees centigrade and 20 atom exhibit higher index of refraction, higher density at a slower etch rate than steam oxide grown at 900 degrees centigrade and 1 atom. This difference is caused by oxidation temperature defect. Masking of properties. SiO2 provide a selective mask against the diffusion of dopant atoms at elevated temperature. During high temperature driven step, diffusion in oxide is slow with respect to diffusion in silicon. The thickness of oxide is determined at particular temperature and time. This oxide thickness is necessary to prevent inversion of a lightly doped silicon substrate of opposite conductivity. A safety factor is added to this value. Typical oxide thickness is 0.5 to 0.7 micrometer. The value of diffusion constant dependent upon concentration, properties and structure of SiO2. The commonly used n-type impurity are P, Sb, As, as well as the most frequently used p-type impurity is B, boron. The various charges are described as interface trapped charge. This charge is located at SiO2 interface. It has energy states in silicon, forbidden band gap, and can interact with the underlying silicon electrically. The charge result from several sources including structural defect related to oxidation process, metallic impurity or bond breaking process. A low temperature hydrogen anneal effectively neutralize interface trapped charge. The density of the charge is usually expressed in terms of unit area and energy in silicon band gap. Second is fixed oxide charge. The fixed oxide charge theta F is located in the oxide within approximately 30 Armstrong of SiO2 interface. Theta F cannot be charged or discharged Its density range from 10 to power 10 per centimeter square to 10 to power 12 per centimeter square depending on oxidation and annealing condition. For electric measurements, T-type can be considered as a charge sheet at the SiSiO2 interface. The value of this charge can be determined using capacitance voltage analysis technique. Third is mobile ionic charge. The mobile ionic charge theta m is attributed to alkali ions such as sodium, potassium and lithium in the oxide as well as to negative ions and heavy metals. The alkali ions are mobile even at room temperature when electric field are present. Density range from 10 to power 10 per centimeter square to 10 to power 12 per centimeter square or higher and are related to processing material, chemical, ambient or handling because of larger ionic radially and lower mobility. The heavier elements contributing to this charge drift at a slower rate than the higher elements. Capacitor voltage technique are used to measure the charge, which involve change in the silicon surface potential or current flow in the oxide as a result of ionic motion. Fourth is oxide trapped charge. The oxide trapped charge may be positive or negative due to holes or electrons trapped in the bulk of oxide. This charge associated with the defect of SiO2 may result from ionizing radiation, avalanche, injection or high current in the oxide. It can be annealed by low temperature treatment. Densities range from 10 to power 9 per centimeter square to 10 to power 13 per centimeter square. CV techniques, capacitor voltage techniques are used to measure this charge. Anodic oxidation. A unique characteristics of anodic oxidation is that it is carried out at room temperature, thus impurity profiles in the semiconductor are not altered during this process. As a result, this technique is useful for controlled removal of layers of silicon and gallium arsenic at room temperature and is often used as diagnostic tools. Ionotic oxidation can also be used to grow reasonably high quality oxide on GS since problems associated with the widely different characteristics of Ga2O3 and As2O3 are minimized at room temperature. Both the dielectric breakdown strength and the electric resistivity of these oxide are superior to that obtained by thermal oxidation. As a result, they are useful in technological process for gas such as masking and coating. In addition, they have been used as gate oxide most transistor and in gas integrated circuit based on these devices. Anodic oxidation or anodization is carried out by placing the semiconductor in an electrolytic cell as shown in figure, where it is connected to the positive terminal of a power supply so that it serves as the anode. A node metal such as platinum is connected to the negative terminal of the supply and serves as a cathode. The source impedance of supply can be kept low so that ionization occurs at constant voltage. At large variety of electrolyte formulation can be used. The primary oxidizing component of all of these is water, which dissociates into H plus and OH minus. The dissociation reaction can be written as H2O is equal to H plus plus OH minus, so that K equal to H plus OH minus. Thank you.